Hello and welcome to Blue Club Sports. This is the third and final part of my interview with my special guest, Topher from Austin. This segment, we're going to talk about Manchester United, his favorite Premier League team. If you're new to the channel, I'm a huge Chelsea fan, so that might be brought up as well. But Topher, welcome to Blue Club Sports. I'm glad you're here. And what do you want your opening statement to be on Man United? Maybe the state of Man United, Ronaldo's interview. It's basically you can talk about a lot right now with Man United, honestly.
Yeah, so I mean, right now the biggest news is Ronaldo's interview, right? And there's two sides of the story. As always, there's people on Ten Hag's side and there's people on Ronaldo's side. And in my opinion, and I'll just throw it out there right off the bat before we even start talking, if you're on Ten Hag's side, you're pretty much with the Glazers. That's all I'm going to say. You want change in the club, and you're on his side. You're just pretty much you're with the Glazers, and you don't want no progression in the sport or in the club. So that's what I'm going to throw out there. Big statement. But I believe in this interview that he had with Piers Morgan. I don't think he did anything wrong. He just stated the facts and what's wrong with the club. Ronaldo has a passion for the club, as he stated, and he just wants nothing but the best. At the same way, this is his goodbye. He wants out of the club, and what's the best way to do it is breaching his contract like he just did. And I will not see him in a United jersey after the World Cup is over. What's your thoughts on this? I'm not sure if you followed the interview or not.
Yeah, so I watched the interview in its entirety. It's a lot to talk about, a lot to break down, but speaking football sense, it's true, man. Man United is, stuck in a time, stuck in the glory days. You used to be a Dallas Cowboys fan, and when you wanted to start following the Prem, I told you just follow Man United. They're like a carbon copy of how they operate, and it's sad, but it's true. You can say the same thing for Dallas Cowboys. They're still stuck in the '90s when they won all those championships. They still built the team the same way. They're not modern whatsoever. Like when it comes to roster building, but to come back to Man United, I just feel like what he said. His English is very broken, right? But he was just trying to communicate that the Glazers don't care about the football; they care about the marketing and the money, which we already knew, and that they're just stuck. He goes back to Carrington where they train, and everything's the same, even the chefs, and the jacuzzi's the same. And yes, you can say, oh, well, Ronaldo, he's just a spoiled brat. He wants new things. But this is a multi-billion-dollar, you know, enterprise. And since Sir Alex left, they haven't done anything to you know, push the limits, advance the business. And it's true. And it shows on and off the field, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just Ronaldo's opinion. Go back to the past. Like everybody who has ran in the club has said the exact same thing. But just since Ronaldo's a bigger icon, they're making it a bigger deal than what it is. But yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts on that interview. And but my thoughts on the season so far,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing pretty good. I mean, I just think there's just so much attention right now on the club. It's really affecting them and the players, and their performances. And I know some people have asked me, if Ronaldo was to leave the club, am I still going to follow Manchester United? Mm-hmm. And I've said this a long time, several times actually. If Ronaldo left, I'm still going to be a Manchester United fan. I'm still going to follow him. And in my honest opinion, I think the club would do a lot better without him there, just because of how, young the players are in that club. And, they just, Ronaldo needs to go somewhere better than Manchester United. And, it shows by stats that the team does better when Ronaldo's not there. Why? Because I just think that they're immature and they don't want to listen and learn from the best football player in our generation.
Yeah. Well, he did mention about the youngsters that they're not hungry. They don't, I don't think he went as far to say they're disrespectful, but he said they're unrecognizable now. They used to be hungrier in the past when he was younger. He used to want to learn more and get better. And, It's just I think it's more of a generational thing. And also the way football works is, Marcus Rashford, he was 18 when he broke into the Man United squad and he was given everything, I'm sure he wasn't even 21 yet when he got the number 10 shirt at Man United. So a lot of these young players, it's not that they're flawed personally, but they're not brought up the right way. They're as soon as they show something, they're given everything, and it's just too much too soon. And but yeah, he did mention the youngsters, and it is true that the team is getting younger. You know, Garnacho is looking really really good. That was actually Ralph Ragnick's signing, from what I recall. He got him from Atletico Madrid, and he looks like a really good player and someone I need
Yeah,
to be worried about as a Chelsea fan.
yeah. Speaking of Chelsea, um, have you heard the rumors of if Ronaldo is sacked from Manchester United, that Chelsea is looking to sign him? What's your thoughts on that if that was to actually happen?
Um, Chelsea signing Ronaldo, I wouldn't be against it. It looks like Aubameyang already wants to go to PSG, so he's only going to be with us for 6 months. There's a lot of problems with Chelsea, in my opinion. Um, there's always been player power at Chelsea. The manager is always being undermined um, on a constant basis. Um, but I think this is the worst I've seen it. I think, Lampard getting sacked was warranted. We weren't, I wasn't seeing good things. And when we went into big games against Manchester City and Manchester United, I had no confidence we would even win that game. And at that point, with the standards at Chelsea, we need to sack the manager. Thomas Tuchel, I feel like that was very early, very, very early, honestly. And it was more not to do with on the field stuff. It was more to do off the field. He wasn't getting along with the owner. They didn't have the same vision. But yeah, I think Chelsea is in a very precarious spot. I think they're in danger, man. I look at the Prem, um, and Chelsea's in seventh, I think. But the top four is always changing. You have Newcastle coming up, so that's a spot right there. Liverpool's not even in the top four. You got Arsenal that are good now. You have Tottenham that are good. Man City, Man United, us. It's just a lot of teams want to be in that top four, and it's just
Yeah,
more competitive than ever. I think the Premier League is really, you can say something about Manchester City's dominance when it comes to winning leagues, but the Prem's really competitive, and I think, you know, to go back to your question, Ronaldo, I wouldn't be against it. I think the team's really, a lot of people say that we're a bunch of mercenaries. We don't really care. The players don't really care about the team. I think there's a lot of players that need to leave in January, and Ronaldo coming in, I'm not against it because we need someone to tell people, like, wake the fuck up, basically, and this is not how you do it. You do it this way. And I think I think yes, Ronaldo, if he were to come to Chelsea, Graham Potter would respect him more than what Ten Hag has done. And I wouldn't be against it, basically. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna say, oh, Ronaldo was our way to get back into, relevance. It's nice if it happens. If it doesn't, it is what it is.
yeah. And like one of the big questions people ask me a lot, because they know I'm a huge Ronaldo fan. If he was to leave the club, would I follow? You know,
Yeah.
and my answer is no. I wouldn't. Like I like Chelsea as a club, but I wouldn't become a Chelsea fan supporter because Ronaldo's there. I have a plan. I'm gonna stay in Manchester United, and I want to see them from their lowest points, which they are right now, to go back to glory and be on
Hmm.
top. And I want to say I was there from when they were at the bottom.
That's
So that is
true.
my goal. So hopefully they can fulfill my dreams to become the top again.
Yeah. And so, I've always told you this. I have no hatred for Man United. I think you can agree with that. Man United's a team that I really respect. I think they're the biggest team in the world. Um, I think they're they're really a icon in British culture. Like Manchester United, everyone knows who they are, and to see them fall from the wayside like they've done over the past few years. It's kind of, saddening to say. But and there's a lot of players that I respect that are on Man United or from the past. David Beckham is really a player that brought me into the sport. Really had me watching soccer over basketball, over NFL, over baseball. And, if they were to get back on top, I think, of course, I want Chelsea to win. And I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm not a Man United fan. But it is, I wouldn't be against it. If it's not us, if Man United win, I'm not. There's no, there's no hatred there.
Awesome.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. So, what would define success this year for Man United? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is for both of our teams. Our points total through the same amount of weeks last year. We had way more points. We were higher in the table, and we're kind of both not doing well. We're doing worse than we did last year in the same point of time. So, and we don't hear, oh, Ten Hag needs to go. You guys lose to Aston Villa away from home at Villa Park. You guys have to really pull it out of the bag to beat Fulham at Craven Cottage. Well, why isn't there calls for Ten Hag's job or questioning Ten Hag? And what would be a success? Or what would determine success for Ten Hag in his first season in charge?
Well, I think there is calls for Ten Hag. I mean, a lot of people voted for him in, so I just don't see it there yet because I just think the media is just focusing on Ronaldo. So I say that there is calls for Ten Hag not to be there anymore. But whether there is or not, I think our goal, well, my opinion for the goal for United is to participate in the Champions League. I think that would be our main focus right now to make us into the Champions League again. So being, top 3 teams. So I think that's going to be their goal. We are not going to win the Prem, but I think we're working for just to be able to compete in a bigger competition.
Okay, so top 4. Do you really put any value into the cup competitions? I'm not even sure if you're still in the Carabao Cup, but like the FA Cup, you guys are in the Europa League. Does that mean anything for you?
Well, I hope they freaking win those because what I know is that they're really shit leagues, right? But and right now Manchester United's in the knockout for the Europa.
Yeah, they play
And
Barcelona.
yeah, that's gonna be a good game to watch. But yeah, right now I think United just needs to take a win wherever they can get it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I think that solves all my questions. You're really, I think the biggest statement you made was saying you're with Ten Hag is saying you're with the Glazers. I think the Glazers, we can all agree, are not good for Man United. Especially when, and Ronaldo said it. It wasn't only when Sir Alex left, but the president of football operations left. It went to shit basically. But yeah, hopefully Man United can find their way, and so can Chelsea. But with Chelsea, I don't know, man. I wish I was as confident as you, but it's really, we're in the unknown at the moment. Usually, when Chelsea hires a new manager, we have like an instant, we start going on a winning streak, but that just hasn't happened this time, and yeah, it's a little worrisome. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on and voicing your opinion about your Premier League team, and hopefully we have you again, Toph.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but that's all I got for this video. Thank you very much for joining us and taking time out of your day to call into the show. But yes, guys, if you liked the video, drop a like, comment down below what you think about his statement. I think the biggest one was Ten Hag. If you're supporting Ten Hag, you're supporting Glazers. And subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you for watching, guys, and you have a good day.